What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another exciting live episode of Attorney Session Reacts. I am glad to be here with my co-host for this episode, my homie, my friend, ex-ball player, Prairie View A&M, international star, and the founder of in Sport Talk, my man Clifford Franks. What's going on?
What's up, everybody? Man, as he said, former basketball player, progenitor of a really big sports group and YouTube page named Hoop Jargon, name I just came up with. And so covered Super Bowl. I've covered a few things in the sports world. And so my guy Sesh hit me up, man. So I like, listen, I came running, bro. So let's do it.
I definitely hit him up because, we've been conversing online about this topic for a while. And, it's only right that we cover it in live fashion and form. I think I'm having an internet issue. We're going to talk about the hot topic item. We're going to talk about Caitlin Clark. This is definitely a hot topic item. First, I want to, get Cliff's opening comments and thoughts on this issue.
Well, what exactly about Caitlin Clark? This is a lot to unpack.
There's a lot to unpack. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the specifics. But, of course, there's the jealousy aspect. You got this young phenom, this young in the WNBA, and you got other women jealous. You got teammates looking her off, not passing her the ball. You got veterans in the game, so-called the gatekeepers, all coming at her with this negativity. So just your overall thoughts on that before we get into the specific questions.
Well, what you're seeing right now in the WNBA is the changing of the guard. And it's kind of what's low-key is going on in the NBA as well. You got these, you mentioned about gatekeepers. These pro leagues, they're star-driven. A lot of people don't. It's like we understand it, but it's like the thing you don't really talk about. Because as of right now in the NBA, you see the change of the guard happening where LeBron James is no longer the focal point. Even guys like Kendrick Perkins are starting to turn on LeBron James. Like, okay, this little this enigma that you were, you not that no more, homie. And I'm gonna start being honest about you, right? So you're seeing Ant-Man, you're seeing Luka, you're seeing Jokic, you're seeing like young people starting to take over the old factions, right? The Berlin Wall, proverbially speaking, is falling down. So in the WNBA spirit, the most unknown spirit, i.e., there's no interest. Now it's starting to turn to that same thing, like the Diane Taurasi's of the world, the Candace Parker who just retired last year, the old stalwarts, as it were, who kind of took the torch from Coop and Swoops and Sue Bird and you name them. Their Berlin Wall is falling. So now the youngins like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson are taking over. And listen, they're going down in hard fashion, baby. They're going down in tough fashion. Can you hear me?
I think we're getting a connection with you. Yeah, I can hear you. You were breaking up. I think we're getting a connection issue. Things are looking okay on this end. Did you get a notification or anything?
Nothing on my end on StreamYard. Hello? Yours sounds a little choppy on my end.
Okay. No, man. I am sounding choppy?
Yeah, it's a little choppy on my end.
Forgive us, everyone. This is my first time using StreamYard. Of course, I think Cliff has used it several times because I've checked out some of his videos on Stream. But are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
Hello? Are you there, brother?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. So let's kind of unpack this a little bit, man. There are a couple questions surrounding this issue, right? right? So one is the racial issue. I posted some videos a while back here recently. We're talking about the whole racial factor. She's only getting attention because she's white and she's in the sport that's mostly dominated by African American players. So what's your take on the whole racial issue? Is this a racial issue? Is she getting attention because of race, because she's white and everybody wants to see that quote unquote great white hype as the face of the league?
I'll put this to you this way. Some of it, yeah. I mean, listen, man, we live in the United States of America. People think associatively. So people generally like something that looks like them. That's why you look at Boston, they keep a few white dudes on their team. Utah keeps few white dudes on their team. Yeah, that's true. But that's one aspect of it. It's only, it's only tantamount to attention because she can hoop. Like, she's shooting the ball from Steph Curry range that, I'm sorry, and I'm using the word casual observer of the WNBA, and I'm using that word with a lowercase c. There's nothing for guys, because me and you hoop. There's nothing to watch with the WNBA like that, right? So she's shooting the ball from distance like we've never seen before, from women's basketball players, and her hype is something that we've never seen. And we'll get to that later, I'm sure. Right. But no, I mean, race is part of it, absolutely. Just like Larry Bird, the French lick. Race played into it, but he can actually hoop. He's actually one of the top five in my players to ever play basketball. So shit, you can say it's race, but you actually gotta have the game too, and she got both of them. So I mean, yeah, of course it's part of that, but you got to be honest and tell the whole story. She actually can hoop.
Right. I think I lost you for a second. Personally, I think it's more of a I don't think it's more of a racial issue than I think it's an establishment issue. I think, of course, like you said, race plays a part and plays a role in it, but it's not the only piece. I think it's an establishment issue. Like you said, the changing of the guards. People can't take that this young player, they've worked so hard their whole career, and they've never amounted to as much attention as she's accrued, and they haven't gotten the big endorsement deals. They haven't gotten a $28 million deal from Nike. They aren't on Gatorade commercials every time a game is showing prime time. Their games aren't being played prime time. They're not getting the 20,000 people in attendance. They're not getting the 2 million people watching from home. So I think it's more of a frustration that this young player who hasn't even proved herself as a professional is coming into the league and getting all this. And as a caveat, I think it just makes it worse on those naysayers that she's actually white. So like I said, I think it's a multifaceted issue, but I don't think race is the only or main issue, because we as hoopers, we don't really see race on the basketball court. Maybe they did in the late 70s, early 80s, but we don't really see race. We go out there and we play. I'm sure we know some killers of all races that can go out there and put your lights out, right? So, I think it's more of an establishment issue than it is a racial issue. But like you said, race does play a part in it. Now, talking about her value, what would you say her value is to the league and women's basketball as a whole?
There's a word that comes to mind, and the word is innumerate. Like, what we talking about? Like, Caitlin Clark is putting up numbers that the WNBA was wanting with Candace Parker, who was Candace Parker was a dog. Like, she could do everything, 6'3", dunking on bras and doing all this stuff. Caitlin Clark is literally, so I looked at the attendance, from the Fever from last season. Of course, we know they sold the home games out before she even touched the court, right? The average attendance was like around $6,000 range or something like that, $5,000 or $6,000. Now it's over like 18. So that's like a 300x, improvement. So what we talking about? Mm-hmm. And the ticket prices went up. and she moved the needle in that fashion.
Of course.
So what are we talking about?
Right. So
value is there, for sure.
Yeah. But it's just like what you said. When I see the value, I liken it to late 70s, early 80s, the rivalry between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Of course, a lot of people don't know this, but the league was in bankruptcy or near bankruptcy at that time. They weren't even playing NBA games live. They were coming on late at night. They were replays, right? And so you have these two dynamic figures, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, coming to the league. And of course, you promote and you publicize their rivalry. That's what you put out there, right? Two opposite ends of the country, couldn't be more different from one another. And one is white and one is black. So you had that whole thing to play. The fans and the people who covered the sport were. And so when the NBA takes it upon themselves to, they come in and they say, we're going to exploit these two individuals and we're going to save our league because
Uh-oh. I think you kind of went out a little bit, bro. I'm looking at my end. It's like your connection's a little down. All right, let's see what's up.
So yeah, I liken the value of, I like what she's bringing to the broad WNBA. Just the X, right? Nobody's trying to downplay the league or trying to make fun of the ladies, but they do not sell. They operate in the red every year.
So bro, you cut out like your first little
to exploit. Hello?
Yeah, your first minute was like dead screen, and you a little choppy right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm watching on my little.
Yeah, it says my connection.
Yeah, the connection's a little off. Well, I guess I got the main screen. But no, they kind of just, I see what session we're going with that part of the discussion. And listen, man, the WNBA is in peril. The WNBA has an issue with, revenue. And you guys, I think a lot of people argue the WNBA situation with feelings. And I don't know if you can hear me, Sesh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so, and I think he was trying to say is, when you operate in the red for so long, you need something to actually catapult you to be a profitable business. Because you guys don't know, the WNBA is subsidized by the NBA, like meaning they literally fund the WNBA because it takes a loss every year. It's like a tax write-off for the NBA. So with the players, they express a lot of frustration about not getting the same, amenities that their male counterparts have, and their big statement is always, "We play good basketball over here too," and that's all well and good. But the reality is y'all don't make money. Reality is y'all are affectionately a charity league. That's just what it is. That's like the NBA doing like the junior NBA cares events. Like that's affectionately what the WNBA is. Oh, my bad. I went too hard.
Junior NBA though?
It's true. So the WNBA players want this kid gloves, they basically want kid gloves on everything they do, and us just ignore the elephant in the room that you guys are a charity league. Y'all, I mean, I'm not saying ain't no hoopers in there. Listen, the person I respect.
You don't put butts in the seats, and that's the bottom line. And you need something. You need something, and they have that someone to put, asses in the seats. You need to sell tickets. It's a business, right? and you got this lady who's about to make sure you sell tickets, and you don't want to exploit it. And that brings me to the next point: the Olympics. What the hell is USA basketball doing? What are they thinking? What good reason do you have for not adding this lady to your roster? You're trying to make your sport, hell, we're trying to make it a national sport, let alone an international sport. You know this. Women's basketball overseas, these women get paid overseas. That's where they go to make their money.
Absolutely.
So why would you not want to show off your biggest star in the game to the rest of the world?
So going back to that gatekeeping thing we talked about, bro.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, I've heard, listen, man, one thing I try to do is hear everybody's point of view. And then, because I know mine off rip. I know what I'm gonna say, but I always don't want to be, before I make a statement, I try not to be overzealous. I try to be biased. So I always try to, check the temperature in the room, as it were. So apparently, they want to protect the sanctity of the tradition of the WNBA of women's basketball. And, protocol says you don't bring in a rookie to play because these women have to try out and they have to make the team because women have won 7, 8 gold medals and we got to up. I'm just like, okay. On this face,
if it was about that, go ahead.
No, so on this face, okay, I can rock with that because I know, man, basketball is something that hoopers take as a pure thing. I get that. But y'all have a failed product. Nobody cares about y'all game. This is the perfect opportunity for people who are casuals, as it were, or casuals who ain't play like that, who are worse than me in the casual lane, to come and care about your sport. I heard counter arguments like, right. Oh, well, the USA Olympic team don't need the views. And I say bullshit. Yes, they do. Yeah. You need to have a vested interest in your product. Because think about it, man. Think about if the WNBA takes over the men's viewership and they just are the dominating trending topic on Twitter, on X, on Instagram, all that stuff. That's what businesses look at to gauge. You mentioned value earlier. That's what they look at. So it's like, dude, why would you not have the biggest and brightest star? I say Angel Reese, throw on the team too. Why not have these people who are relevant to clicks, views, and staying power to represent the country and take over the summer? Yeah. But we got to be pure to the rules of the WNBA of when we put on the floor. Bullshit.
That ain't a rule. It's bullshit. The bottom line is, don't you want to sell Caitlin Clark jerseys in Russia? Don't you want to sell Caitlin Clark jerseys in Spain? Don't you want to sell these jerseys in China? You know how big this could get in China. I played in China. I don't think they realize how big this can get. Right. And so you want to purposely leave this girl off the team because of people like Diana Taurasi, who I am a huge fan of. And she's very disappointing with her comments about Caitlin. I'm a huge fan of Diana Taurasi. And if you ask me, I mean, damn, she's pushing 42, 43. She need to stay her ass at home.
She averaging the same amount of points as Caitlin Clark, to be being honest.
I think she's averaging a little less. No?
Like 16. They both average 16 the last I checked.
Right. But you're supposed to be a veteran. You said she was going to struggle coming into the league because she's playing against grown women now. I'm like, Diana, you played against kids and went to the league playing against grown women killing as well. So what? To me, it's just hate, man. And that's a white on white. So you can't really say it's race in that specific instance, right? But
white on white violence.
My thing. You said what?
I said white on white violence.
White on white violence, man. Because Diana is really not liking this, man. So I think it's a big mistake, them not adding this young lady to the Olympic squad. And I get it. I get the old establishment, man. You don't want these new players. But here's the deal. The more you promote a Caitlin Clark, the more you get her viewership and you get her out in front of people, then the TV deals will start to pick up. And you know what follows the TV deals? Player contracts. How do you think the players get paid so much? A new CBA.
Yep.
So, here's my final take and my closing comments. You want to milk this cash cow. You want to drain as much money out of this situation as you can drain. And honestly, I guarantee you, her teammates, the league, everything's about to shift. They realize the same thing we realize, and they realize what's going to pull that league out of the red, and that's exploiting young talent. And not only that, finding her, or she already has some foes. She already has a nemesis in the league. Promote that nemesis. You got to have the hero, so to speak, and you got to have the nemesis. Somebody has to play heel. That's an old freaking WWF, WEW, that's an old strategy they use. Somebody has to play the heel, the bad guy, right? And as long as you have that going on, people will watch.
It's like the old world, man. And what you're alluding to is Horus or Haru going against Set. That's an old world adage, bro. It just works. That's why all the movies with like Star Wars, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, it just works. The hero is Horus or Haru, and the enemy is Set or the destroyer god. Like it just works. Like so it works. So when people,
it just works, man. It works. You gotta promote the two.
It just works. And so when people like flummox, you know what I'm saying, by why things are how they are and why they promote certain players, because storylines sell the game. Now you got to have game to match it, but the storylines sell it. So it's like you got to know what you're looking at. So go ahead.
No. So I got a question from my closest female friend, my sister, Patrice. She says, so y'all are saying market matters more than basketball. At this point in the WNBA, hell yeah, that's what we saying. That's what I'm saying. And the market matters. So because you can play all the good basketball you want, but nobody there to see it, then what the hell are you doing? Like I played in the ABA for a little while. We played some damn good basketball. Played some really good teams, but nobody was there to see it. So what's the point? What's the purpose?
Yeah, I mean, because I understand where she's coming from asking that question. Because again, like as hoops, participants, we have a purist mentality. I get that. Like you hoopers respect hoopers, and I understand why women hoopers have that type of fraternal, well in that case sororial. I made that word up, but like it's a fraternal spirit. Like you know what I'm saying? Because when I first met you, we talk a few sentences. Okay,
I want to protect it.
Right. So and you can't talk that language. Like, all right, this dude right here, like something like, all right, cool. Hey, bro, nice to meet you. So you know what I'm saying? You keep it pushing. Like we got to know each other over the course of like 15 years off of because we spoke the language that you speak. So I get what she's saying. But at the same time, this is a professional entertainment league. It's the biggest thing is money. If you're not making money, you're not making sense. Put that on a shirt. If you're not making money, you're not making sense. Double entendre. So that's the whole thing, man.
Yeah, and you're totally right, man. So the main, and I go back to what these ladies are complaining about. They're complaining that they don't get paid for their craft, or they don't get paid enough for their craft, and that's a valid complaint, right? You're a professional. They have the same complaints in the UFC. We don't get paid enough for our craft. But here's the deal. How do you get paid from that craft? It's viewership. It's television deals. It's league endorsements that feed into individual player endorsements. It's all those things. It's getting an extra $50,000 just to wear a shoe brand. Not even that you have your own shoe, but paying you to wear their shoe brand, right? And those are the kind of contracts that NBA players get, even if they don't have their own shoe. They get $75,000 just to wear somebody else's shoe, right? So those type of deals, they will come if people start liking and loving to watch the game. And Caitlin has brought a...
Damn, bro, you was doing good. You went... Okay, hold on. I can't hear it all of a sudden. What's the last thing you said? It went silent on my end.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, man, the best way to get these ladies what they want, and that's more pay, is to have more eyes and more people watching the game. You're going to get those television deals, then you're going to start getting those league endorsements, then you're going to start getting those individual player endorsements. The kind of money where they don't have to go to Europe and China overseas for 10 months and then come back and try and play. They can chill for 9-10 months and then play, make the league stronger. And that's where I am with that.
No, I mean, it's like my guy Between Gang Sports said in the chat. You can highlight the comment if you want to, but it says, yes, it matters. Supply and demand still rules. Listen, you can say it's just like raising a kid. You can think your kid is the greatest kid that was ever made, and you think your kid is the greatest player ever, but guess what? If no coaches want him, it don't matter how good you think your kid is.
You all know their kid's sorry. Everybody else know their kid's sorry.
Yeah, right. So that's cool. You think your kid is the greatest thing since sliced bread, but the market dictates if your kid's good or not. Like, it is what it is. So with the brand of basketball, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I can understand if she sucks. That's the point. I get it if she sucks, but she doesn't suck. She's filling up the stat sheet as a rookie. And they had 7 rookies ahead of her in the ESPN power ranking. Yeah, and only one of them. You can only find an argument for one of them, and that's Angel Reese. Why? Because she's averaging close to a double-double. That's the only argument you can make for anybody being ahead of her in the rookie runnings, on the rookie power rankings.
They had a girl averaging 4 and 3 above Caitlin Clark because she plays with Aces. That's the win share thing. I'm like, stop it.
Right. And then Cameron Brink. I love Cameron Brink, but her stats aren't.
Cameron Brink like a Tayshaun Prince. When I watch her play, I see Tayshaun Prince 2.0. Like, stop.
Solid, smart.
Solid, smart, just absolutely. Like, but no, cut it out.
No, but so
again, go ahead.
No,
I'm just saying, like, so it just shows that, they know what they have in Caitlin Clark. And again, she got stuff to clean up, man. She dribbles too high. She has sloppy handles at times. She makes bad decisions at times, i.e. the turnovers. So, I mean, there's much to critique from her. But let's juxtapose this to Wemby. She's losing games. Wemby is the second worst team, plays for the second worst team in the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs. And Wemby ripped the NBA up this year. If you guys are not being honest, Wemby ripped it. He was as good as advertised, but it did not translate to wins because it's called a growing pain. LeBron James' first year did not make the playoffs, right? That's pretty much prerequisite. Like, it takes time to grow. Ant-Man got the Minnesota Timberwolves looking great, and they put pieces together, and they just now cracked the playoffs year 4 on the Ant-Man, right?
Right.
So, like, I'm seeing people scrutinize Caitlin's wins and losses when they're not being honest of how you see other players develop. And I'm big on this thing. I land the plane here. I give a player like 4 years before I start critiquing you on wins and losses. Before then, it's just all development. It's development.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, but hell, they got the number 1 pick for a reason. They were the worst team in the damn league. So what you expect? You expect one player from college to come in and change everything and make them a winning team, especially when they didn't add any moving pieces around that team that was the worst team in the league last year. So let's be real when we talk about her team as wins and losses. But if you look at the other end, she's filling up the stat sheet. She's doing it all. She's rebounding. She's passing. She's scoring. And she's defending. The turnovers are a little high, but that comes with time, of course. Adjusting to the league, getting the flow of the timing and everything and what to and not to do, dribbling the ball too much, make a move go. She'll get all that stuff. What I'm saying is, purely from a marketing standpoint and a money standpoint, exploit this cash cow and milk the living hell out of it while you can. That's it.
Why wouldn't you? Like, people, like, I see grown-ass men debating, on some disrespectful stuff about the WNBA. Name me a time in your lifetime, Sesh, you seen grown men passionate about the WNBA. I'll wait.
Never. League has been around, 27 years? 28 years? Never have I seen this much barbershop talk over WNBA or any of its players. And I'm just being real. I'm not trying to put down the league or the women. Those are just the facts. So
I'll put it down for you. Anybody watching that shit. So, and the ratings I hear so many, purists of WNBA, and listen, man, Good for you if you've been a day one WNBA fan. Good for you. The rest of the world, the 95%ers, we don't give a damn about the goddamn WNBA. Now we care. So ride the doggone wave, man. Cash rules everything around me, like Dre Murray just said, man. Dollar bill, y'all. Come on, man. Let's be for real.
That's my best friend. That's my best friend, Dre Murray, a recording artist, Dre Murray. Check out his stuff. He got some really hot stuff out. Dude is pretty well known, and he knows basketball. He played in college too. So we talking about hoopers, man. Hoopers know basketball.
Bro, it's just like, it is what it is. Like, why are people so dishonest about this topic, bro? Like, you can, like, I see Jamel Hill and the McNutt chick. Like, yo, like, just be honest.
So let me before we close, bro. Let me go real controversial with this.
Let's go.
How much of this you think, I hit on the racial part, how much of this you think is because she's a girly girl, she's not a lesbian? Because I've been hearing those debates. I'm just being real. And so we're gonna discuss it. Let's discuss it all. How much of this you think has to do with that? Because we hear it in media, so why the hell are we not talking about it now? Right? People are saying that the other girls don't like her because she's not a lesbian, because she likes boys and she doesn't conform to what they want in the locker room, et cetera, et cetera. What are your thoughts on that?
Candace Wiggins told you about WNBA culture years ago.
Yeah.
She stopped playing WNBA because of the lesbian culture, right? She told you this. Sister, Black woman, told y'all about WNBA culture. The culture is, or has been prevailing, that dyke, butch culture, you basically had dominion. How do we know this? We watched Candace Parker, who came into the league, married to Sheldon Williams, right? Had a kid together, all that. She exited the league, got a goddamn wife. You feel me? So that shows you she entered the league. I mean, Sheldon Williams ain't the most no diddy, eye-pleasing, guy to ever walk through, any door in America. But she ended up, leaving him. They got divorced and all that. And when she exits the NBA, the WNBA, she got a white wife, right? You see all these main fixtures now. I'm not gonna go down the gossip too, but you hear about the players over the years, like, because early it was kind of like a
sweet.
You can see, I don't even want to go there. But you see like players who are like, on the comments. And you can see the ones who won. Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl Swoops was married when she started off in the WNBA. Came out there and she started batting on the other side when she left out the WNBA. Right? You see plenty of
right. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong being gay. Here's the point I think we're making. Nothing wrong being gay. So the point we're making is the culture around it and what's accepted and not accepted, right? And how they haze you because you don't want to conform to a certain thing. And that's the point. I've coached girls high school before. And you see a lot of that even at that level. And that's why I told Dre Murray, my best friend, that's why I told him I don't even know if I want my daughter to play, right? Because if she makes a conscious decision on her own when she gets older, that's what she wants to do with her life, more power to you. But I don't want anybody hazing her into it or forcing her into it, right? Or feeling that she has to be that way to be a part of the basketball culture on her squads. But like I said, if she decides that she wants to do when she gets older, that's her business. But I don't want it forced on her. So I think that actually plays a part in it as well. She has a boyfriend, but let's see how long that lasts. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows if she'll conform as well? But
and like niggas told you. So what my whole thing is, though, the point of me mentioning that is like that puts off a lot of your viewership. Like, okay, everything's about wokeism. Everything's about fighting these little what you call special interest groups and shit like that. That turns the average viewer off. I'm not here for your social, political stuff. I'm here to see some basketball.
I'm watch basketball. And I want to watch
basketball. I don't want your political issues and pro LGBTQIA and all that stuff. And listen, man, if that's your life, no problem. But I don't want that inundating me, because I give a real life example. The worst product the NBA put out was in 2020 when they started putting out all this stuff about the protesting and people have like Black Lives Matter jerseys. I'm like, come on, man. Like, that's not what we're here for. And ultimately, it doesn't add anything. Like, you don't solve racism by putting it on the back of your jersey, homie. You go out there by going to the community and changing things. You don't
like
do
Muhammad Ali did.
Right. Muhammad Ali would face his competitors and say his piece, and he would come back and forth you to your face. He's showing up at your doorstep, right?
Well, he went to jail for what he believed, right? So we don't have anybody out there doing it. It's easy and cool to put something on a shirt and go out and play. More power to you. But the real fight is in the grassroots effort. If you're really trying to be a social justice warrior, it's the grassroots effort. It's getting out into the community and it's taking a stand there. You know, anybody can go in the court where it's safe and nobody's going to bother you and wear a Black Lives Matter shirt, right? And I'm speaking to the LeBron effect, right? Anybody can do that. But what are you doing outside of that? And that's where the fight should be. And people, you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, people will see how you really feel and how you really produce socially when you go into the community. But I agree with you, man. When I watch basketball, I want to watch basketball. I don't want to see all the extra stuff. And yeah, of course, you know how many people gonna say we cooning right now?
I don't care. Like, man, bro, I went to HBCU, bro. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, bro. Everything I do is pro-Black. I ain't trying to hear that shit. But I'm not pro-stupid. Not pro-stupid. So you can run that game on whoever you want to about that cooning shit.
Right.
Like, listen, I'm about results and reality. I live in reality. I'm 40 years old, bro. All that hypothetical stuff is, bro, my window right there. Throw that shit out the window. Bro, I live in the real world. I'm from Acres Home, Houston, Texas. From, a real place, Black, occupied, bro. I grew up around nothing but NIGG, you know the rest, right? So it's like, yo, that shit don't move me. So what you gotta talk about, talk to me, is some real shit. So if you're gonna talk about some real shit, let's talk about some shit that actually promotes change, not just talking.
Let's talk about our image in the community.
Austin White be on that shit.
About how you there? Did I lose you?
Yeah, I'm here. You kind of got choppy on me. You good now?
Yeah, no, man. I was like, let's talk about the real stuff. You want to talk? Forget all that. Like, I'm with you. Forget all that cooning stuff. Let's talk about the real stuff. Let's talk about what we're doing to become more successful as a community. Let's talk about the integrity piece, right? Let's talk about placing a value on things that matter, like education, stuff like that. You can say we're cooning all day. I don't give a damn as well. But let's talk about the real issues and attack those. And so bringing it back to this whole Caitlin Clark thing, we just giving it to you real. We're just telling you, Cliff is a very educated man who I respect highly. And he's also a ball player. I'm the same way. So we know the business aspect. We know the ball aspect. We've both played for a paycheck. So we know the business aspect of it from a player standpoint. So we got room to talk. And that's the bottom line to it. And yeah, I'm glad I had you on, bro. We need to do this again. I'm gonna make sure that the internet is more stable next time on my end.
You got that struggle net up going on over there, bro.
I got Xfinity, man. I mean, they not doing the job tonight, man.
Man, no, it's all good, man. I appreciate the discussion piece, man. Because these open conversations need to be had where you just being honest. I'm all about just be honest, bro. Like you don't have to posture and placate to a certain crowd. Just say what was really real. And what's really real is we can see with two eyes, two men with college degrees. We're not idiots. Like, come on, man. Let's be for real. Like, if you're in the business of promoting business and making money, then put your goddamn money makers out there, bro.
Put them out there. And Caitlin Clark is a moneymaker. Cliff, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Hey, we got to do this at least once every couple of weeks, man, for real.
Let's do it. I'm good on Mondays, bro. So let's do it, man.
All right. Sounds good, brother. All right, bro. You be well, my man. And till next time, hey, take it easy.
Yes, sir.